Am I the asshole for not disclosing the fact I'm adopted to my fiancé's family? I, 27 male, was adopted as an infant. I always knew. My parents never hid this from me or made it something shameful. But I never liked to talk about it with others. It normally opens up a lot of questions about my biological, or real as some would call them, parents. Or some people start talking about my parents like they're not really my parents. I had it happen when I was a lot younger and started school and told people my special story. So after we moved when I was 8 I stopped talking about it and acted to others like my parents or my bio parents. I told my fiancée when we started dating, but apart from her and some very close friends I never talk about it with people. To me it's not something that anyone else needs to know. This includes my fiancé's family. My adopted status was revealed to my fiancé's family during a recent visit of theirs. I got a knock on the door from a PI who informed me my biological parents were interested in contact with me and they overheard. They had a lot of questions, but primarily they were angry at me, for 2 reasons. Firstly, and most importantly for this post, because I didn't tell them. They did not like being kept in the dark, and did not like my fiancé's response that it wasn't any of their business. Secondly, because I expressed to the PI I was not interested in any contact with them and asked him to pass this on to my biological parents. My fiancé's family had the very reaction I tried to avoid from people, and they asked how I could turn down the chance to know my real family. But the primary criticism is that I did not tell them and let them find out that way. They said they could have had grandkids affected by this and I wouldn't tell them. My fiancée reminded them it was none of their business and she had them leave early when they refused to let the topic go. But her parents are still pissed at me. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole, your parents are your parents, period. Also, why is a PI knocking on your door for this? This is usually done with a letter. Not the asshole for the reasons listed by others. Let's hear it for your fiancée who is a real one. She keeps your confidences. Very nice. Your fiancé stood up for you. I see why you don't tell people. They try to dictate about people you never even met. Wild how their brains work like that. It ain't their damn business. Not the asshole. Your in-laws are behaving in a very condescending way by 1. Asserting that you owed them this information, and 2. Asserting that they should have input in how you move forward with regard to contact. Given that you haven't implied that they are like this in other ways, I will give them the benefit of the doubt that perhaps they were just surprised and responded poorly in this one situation. Good for your fiancé for setting and holding boundaries. This is truly none of their business and I hope they will have the good sense not to voice their unwanted opinions again. I'm sorry for the stress I'm sure this has added to an already busy season. Not the asshole. Like you and your fiancé already told them. It's none of their business. None of it is any of their business. They have no right to be angry. Remind them that if they wish to be involved in their future grandchildren's lives, they're going to have to learn some boundaries and fast. Not the asshole. Adoption is an event in your life, not an identity or a label. You don't have to disclose that event if you don't want to. Am I the asshole for leaving my boyfriend at a wedding I wasn't originally invited to? My boyfriend is a groomsman at a wedding this weekend. He told me I was invited, so I was excited to finally meet his friends, but for some reason I had this gut feeling I wasn't. I'm not sure why, maybe his responses and reactions when I asked, but I asked him to double check to see if I was actually invited and he refused until 1 week prior to the wedding. Come to find out that I indeed was not invited, but they were going to figure it out. At that point I was sincerely okay not going, as I understand budgets for weddings, and it was the week prior. They figured out my spot and I was going to take someone's spot who could no longer go. I was uncomfortable and embarrassed, but I didn't want to say no because they really put in the effort. Well, today is the rehearsal dinner and I was making the hour drive and needed to get ready at the Airbnb. I never got the address after asking numerous times until 1:30, and when I arrived my boyfriend told me I had 15 minutes to get ready. I was furious at the lack of respect yet again, and he said, "Suck it up and get over it and go inside and get ready." I asked who's inside and he said a bunch of his friends I haven't met yet. I was in tears due to the lack of empathy and compassion. I ended up leaving because I didn't feel welcomed in the first place and definitely not welcomed after that. Am I the asshole for leaving? Not the asshole. Sounds like your boyfriend is embarrassed to be seen with you in that particular group. Maybe he had hoped you'd decline going and was shocked when you accepted his fake invitation, because I don't get the shitty attitude towards you. Sweetheart, I think he is using you. That is not the behavior of a loving partner. The way you felt is legitimate because no one should be spoken to that way in that situation. Read these comments, I think they are right. He did not want you there. Hold your head up and extricate yourself from this relationship. You are so much more valuable than he is treating you. Not the asshole, that's all clear cut. You aren't really welcome here. Behavior, and you had a right to be upset. Not the asshole. Always follow your gut. He is extending no empathy or compassion to you. The situation seems very disrespectful. Sorry girl face holding back tears. Not the asshole, and maybe shouldn't be your boyfriend. Not the asshole. Forget the wedding, his friends etc. What about your dog of a boyfriend? Why would you accept that level of disrespect? Am I the asshole refused to give up seat on a plane? Hi all. 4-hour flight today. Me and my partner, both early 30s, booked seats 1B and 1C. She gets claustrophobic on planes, and takes medication before getting on etc. The plane has 2x rows of 3, so 1B and 1C are center and aisle. We always get on the plane last, so there's less hanging around waiting for the doors to shut. When we boarded, an older couple were sat in seats 1A and 1B. They were given 1A and 1D, and offered us 1C and 1D. We politely refused this offer, and explained that we'd booked 1B and 1C as we wished to sit together. Flight attendant then jumps in, and tries to persuade us to give up our seats. Explains that one of the couple is disabled. Again, we declined the offer. At which point, the flight attendant rolls her eyes, and the woman in 1B reluctantly moves. Am I the asshole for not moving for an elderly, disabled couple? Not the asshole. If they needed special accommodations, they should have addressed that with the airline. People will do things like this and hope you're too afraid of looking like a jerk and won't make them move back to their booked seat. I had someone try to do this to me once time with an exit row seat I had booked, and paid extra for. I have switched with people before upon request, but I have a rule that if you take my seat before you ask me if you can switch seats with me, then the answer is always going to be a no. Not the asshole. You and your partner booked those seats in advance, they're yours. If the elderly couple needed special accommodations they should have figured that out in advance while booking. Your partner's anxiety also is something that needed accommodation in this case. Sitting with her to help keep her calm probably made the experience much less terrifying for her. Not the asshole. You booked specific seats and you were 100% entitled to use them. I wish flight attendants would quit asking people directly if they are willing to switch seats and instead ask if anyone would be willing to switch seats so others can sit together. When asked directly and you decline, it just gets awkward. Report the flight attendant for her attitude. Can we make a new subreddit for just, am I the asshole for not giving someone else my seat on a plane? I feel like we get this kind of question every day. Not the asshole. You booked those specific seats for a reason, and it's not like you were being difficult just for the sake of it. Your partner has claustrophobia and needs a particular seating arrangement to feel comfortable during the flight, which is why you planned ahead and chose 1B and 1C. While it's unfortunate that the other couple wasn't happy with their seats, it's not fair for them, or the flight attendant, to pressure you into giving up your spots. It's not about being inconsiderate, it's about sticking to what you need to make the flight bearable. You weren't rude, you simply declined an offer. The airline should have handled their seating needs better from the start. It's not your responsibility to rearrange your plans when you've already booked and prepared for the flight. Am I the asshole for not having my sister at my wedding? My older sister Mandy, 37, has always been a spoiled drama queen. She likes to talk smack and gossip about people. She criticizes everything. My mom enables her and expects me and my other sister to just put up with her. I'm getting married and my bride wanted to possibly take my mother dress shopping with my future bridesmaids. That does include my other sister but not Mandy, and my mom. My mom insisted my bride had to take Mandy and I said no because my fiancé and other sisters can't fucking stand her. My mom said something like don't be surprised if Mandy shows up at the wedding in a white or red dress. I told my mom that's fine. Mandy is not invited because if her own mother doesn't think she can behave she is not coming. My mom tried to backtrack and say she was joking and I said no. Obviously you know Mandy can't behave and you would support it with making stupid comments like this so Maddie is not coming. I also told my mom she is also no longer invited to dress shopping and she's on probation and doesn't straighten up she will not be invited to the wedding. My mom asked what will people say if her or Mandy aren't at the biggest event of my life. I said nothing because my sister and I will put out the truth that Mandy is toxic trash dumpster and you enabled her. My mom told me to go fuck myself and she's not coming to the wedding now. It's honestly fine by me because it's less stressful situation because I'm sure my money would still find a way to bring Mandy's bullshit to my wedding day. Mom and Mandy sound like a heck of a lot of work, not the asshole. Unfortunately, I'd imagine you'll need to hire security to keep either one or both out. It's shitty situation to be in. That sucks. Out of curiosity, where is Dad in all of this? Not the asshole. Op sets logical boundaries. Mom threatens that Op should fix it or there could be revenge. Op fixes it by putting more logical boundaries. Mom. No, not like that. You're better off without them, and don't think on it any further. But do consider putting a password with all of your vendors and venue, so they can't call and mess with things. And warn the venue that they should have security at certain people are not allowed in. Not the asshole. It's your wedding day, and it's about you and your bride feeling comfortable and happy. If having your sister there threatens that peace, then you have every right to exclude her. It's unfortunate that your mom doesn't see the issue with Mandy's behavior, but you made a decision to protect the integrity of your big day. If even the threat of her wearing white or red is enough to cause this much trouble, you're better off without that drama. You're supposed to enjoy your wedding, not manage family dynamics, especially ones that have been toxic and draining. Stay firm on your boundaries and enjoy your wedding day stress-free. Not the asshole. I'm guessing mom is exhausted of making excuses for Mandy, but when you end your kid's name with an I, you should know decades of trouble await. Appoint one of your bridesmaids to be chief gossip officer and have her spill the tea to anyone who will listen. You say cool. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your wedding day is a time to celebrate with your family and friends surrounded by those you love. It's not a day to worry about your sister being an ass and causing a scene. Don't invite her and make sure you have someone at the door who will send her packing if she shows up. Your mom can't be trusted not to enable her.